Bolt your windows. Lock your doors. Check your closets. Look under your bed. And then prepare yourself. For it's another episode of Dark Knight of the Podcast. Whoa!
Roger, this is your mother superior, and you need to be punished.
I'll take it I've been very naughty.
I can't even deal with this fucking movie. That's about the extent that I have for
you know what I can deal with is that goddamn fucking old woman voice you just put on. My talk about talent. I know who the new Mrs. Claus is going to be in Mrs. Claus 2.
I think we're such a talented duo. You write and perform your own songs. I can do, voice impressions, and we will just have our own two.
It's a two-woman show.
Heading to Vegas soon. Yeah, heading to Vegas. Katy Perry, who? Come on.
Oh my God, Troy! Let me tell you. Already, this is 10 times more entertaining than anything we witnessed within the movie that we're reviewing. Which for all the wrong reasons, I would say.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, first of all, we got to say ho 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 ho's to our Patreon subscribers who we are doing this specifically for you guys, for your continued support. So thank you guys. As the holidays approach, this is your first exclusive episode for the month of December. We're sorry it's a little late into the month, but hey, we're getting it out, and you will also get your second bonus episode before December ends, and we will let you know what that is at the end of this one. But for all of our we're just going to get right into this.
Oh my God. Lucky them.
Lucky them. It's we're kind of doing it backwards because you guys are going to hear this episode before you hear our next main regular feed episode. Our next regular feed episode, guys, if you have not listened to our All Through the House episode, which just dropped, please go and do that. But you will discover that what we are covering next week is the iconic classic film. There's no other film to cover, right before Christmas other than Silent Night, Deadly Night, the original, controversial,
my God, the classic.
Yes, I'm so excited to talk about that with you. So it was my bright idea, Roger, for our Patreon feed. I was like, oh, Roger, I got the perfect idea. We will cover Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2 for Patreon. Yay!
I swear to God, Trey, if we lose patrons, we're going to lose at least
I will log in after. No, it'll be funny. I'll log in after we post this, and we'll be down to
absolutely. Because I bet you anything that they're clamoring for a review of this pile of garbage. But it's garbage day here at Dark Knight of the Podcast, so I guess it's fitting. It's fitting, and if anything, Troy, I will say this: it just makes watching this. It just made me want to watch Silent Night, Deadly Night, the first one, that much more.
Well, you basically did when you watched it.
True. But it's such a skimmed down, watered down version, void of any suspense or terror. Like, they literally just bare bone their way through the whole goddamn movie. But I'm very excited to review that with you. And I will say that for as bad as this movie is, I know we'll be able to tear it apart. And I can assure the listeners this is going to be quite an enjoyable episode. It may not be an enjoyable movie, but it'll be an enjoyable episode because my laundry list of notes is just scathing.
Although, Roger, you realize there are people that actually like this film. They exist.
Well, they've been very, very fucking naughty. And I hope that Ricky comes for them too.
Punishment is absolute.
Absolute.
So, Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2.
What is there to say?
What is there to say? Right away, I remember the fuss around Silent Night, Deadly Night when it first came to theaters, the controversy, which I'm sure we'll talk about. I try to want to avoid, it's going to be hard, but I want to avoid talking about the first film as much as possible in this episode because we are reviewing it next week. So I'm just going to say right away I remember seeing the box art for this film. when it hit video shelves, because I mean, I think it had a very limited theatrical release, but it mainly made its wide debut on home video during the VHS days. And I remember even as a little kid seeing this box art and being totally uninterested in it compared to the iconic box art of the original film with Santa going down the chimney with the axe. This one basically is a Christmas bulb with a reflection of a hand holding a gun. And you know how I feel about guns in slasher movies, Roger? So right away, I was like, fuck this movie.
Yeah, I can't think of anything less enticing than a fucking handgun in the reflection of a Christmas bulb.
It almost makes it look like, and I guess in a sense, if you do some weird, roundabout connecting, I guess in a sense, it makes it look like a home invasion movie, sort of.
Or like a police procedural, which also has that vibe as well.
Yeah, so right away, the box art to this film doesn't even hold a candle to the original. Guns and slasher movies, please don't. And if you do, don't be stupid enough to put them on your box art for your movie, okay?
The only time a gun works if it's like a wink at the audience or like a joke or a pinch of humor. But if you're trying to seriously impress me with a gun being wielded as the main weapon handled by a killer in a slasher feature, you're going to lose me right off the fucking bat. I'm right there with you, Troy.
Yeah. And the film opens with some very melodramatic piano music. There's a melodramatic piano score that runs through this film that doesn't sound Christmassy at all, first of all. It sounds more like a Lifetime movie of the week. So right away, the score is a little disjointed from the subject matter of the film. And let's be honest, this film, to me, Roger, is not even really a Christmas themed film.
Oh no, I agree completely. One of the biggest issues is that I would say a majority of the film, aside from the flashback sequences, which I don't count because they were not filmed for this movie, but a majority of this film feels very much void of anything Christmas or holiday related up until the final 10 minutes where they kind of try to cram it in there. But I mean, everything else about this movie really does not feel like a holiday horror film in any way. From the seasonal energy, the first movie was so much set in the Midwest, the snow and the environment, everything about it was just so Christmas. It felt pure Christmas. This is stripped of all of that. The setting is lovely, but it does not lend to that season at all. And there's very limited decor. There's very limited anything. You get some Santa imagery, but again, yeah, it feels very forced into the storyline, trying to tie it to the original film. And so, yeah, I agree. It doesn't feel seasonally appropriate to call this Silent Night, Deadly Night 2.
Yeah, no, there's nothing Christmas about this film at all. I mean, nothing. I don't even know if the film, well, I guess, yeah, it does. I was going to say, I don't even know if the film takes place around Christmas time, but obviously it does. But let's just get to it. So after that, we get introduced to really Ricky. Ricky's socked feet in loafers takes up a prominent, part of the opening of this film. Until we kind of slowly scan up and see who is apparently, well, not apparently, it is Billy, the killer from the first film. It's now his younger brother who is grown up, and he's apparently 18 in this film, even though he looks to be about 45.
This fucker. I've never seen somebody who's both super hot and really hard to look at the same time, more so than this individual. Eric Freeman will forever go down as having portrayed Ricky, and he's a big reason why the movie does not work. The only reason I would say that the movie does work, though, at the same time, is because it if you don't take it seriously and watch it as a comedy, everything is hilarious. I don't think he meant to be hilarious, so I feel bad for him. But if you can watch this movie as a piece of humor, then it'll be great. It'll be super entertaining. But this fucker cannot act his way out of a paper bag, and I feel so bad for him. It's difficult watching this guy.
Yeah, I would love to know who else auditioned. I mean, was he the only one that showed up that day? And they're like, oh, I mean, because technically, if you want to he doesn't even really look like, Ricky or Billy from the first one.
Who was fucking hot.
They're both good look. I think Billy is hotter.
Oh, by far.
Good looking, but like they don't look alike. And he just over emotes everything. And this dude, if I had $1 for every time this dude raises his eyebrows in a very wide, huge way when he's delivering dialogue, Roger, we could be vacationing in Greece for Christmas. I know you were just there. I've never been there, but we could.
Oh my God!
His eyebrows are up, down, and the way he delivers his lines is very just. Oof.
Yeah, he over projects everything. He over pronunciates a lot of things. It just doesn't sound at all authentic. Everything sounds like a staged reading with him. It does make for a really awkward focal character because he's just so comedically bad. But again, if you can watch this and enjoy making fun of it, which a lot of people do, then it lends to it in a certain way. It both hurts and helps it at the same time. He's bad. He's bad, but he's fucking hilarious. I'm sure he doesn't like hearing that. I'm sorry, Mr. Freeman, but you are comedically awful in this film.
Well, I think he know. I honestly think he know. I mean, he's recently started to do the convention circuit, so I think he's embraced the whole part of being in this film, and I think part of that is him knowing that he's not good and that people really don't enjoy the film. I mean, like I said, there's a handful of people that do, but I feel like most people, the reason why this film maybe gets some of this attention, like where he is able to go to conventions and get the people that want to take pictures with him and whatnot, is because it's connected so strongly to the first one.
Yeah. We do quickly realize that Ricky is in an institution due to, basically having committed some form of a crime, which the whole film we're unfolding exactly what it is he did and why he did what he did. But right off the bat, we see that he's chain smoking and wielding a lighter, which I get it's the 80s, but that sounds like a horrible idea to give this guy any form of anything that could be dangerous or cause injury, what have you. An attendant comes into the room wheeling in like a giant recording, like audio recording set, a tape set, used to, record the audio of this upcoming dialogue that's about to happen. This poor fucking attendant, he comes in and he glares at Ricky for what is roughly like 3 minutes, just staring and glaring and scowling and pointing, but they don't give him one fucking line. This guy doesn't say one word, but God, they sure make a big deal out of the just fucking glare that he gives him. I feel so bad for this attendant. You could tell he was aching to say something, and they're like, nope, no dialogue for you.
Yeah, it's he's scowling, he's unimpressed the entire time, and it's literally like a 5-minute scene of them setting up this recorder, and during the scene there's the credits rolling, and one thing that I noticed that I just chuckled at was it says basically 4 people wrote this story, came up with the story, and 2 people wrote the screenplay, and I just had to chuckle because half the fucking movie is the first film. So why did it take 6 people to come up with this story?
Well, I mean, they did, those involved, after the criticisms and what have you, it was pretty much stated that they were asked to come up with a film just by re-editing the old film. The director of this film, his name is Lee Harry, and he said that he was given very little budget to work with. That the company just wanted a sequel, and they basically just requested he re-edit the original film. And so he said that I know, it's absurd, but he said that he was given very little money to work with, and so he had to come up with basically a story to shoestring everything together. So I can't blame them. I blame the studio that required this. Who the fuck thinks that's a good idea, just to re-edit a movie that already exists into something else? That's not how movies work.
No. Did they think that nobody would notice that it's the same movie? I mean, oh boy. Yeah, so I just got a kick out of that. But regardless of whatever the case was, why did it take 6 people to come up with this very generic story? That ends up being about 40 minutes of its own thing, right? The rest of it's the first film. So once this 5-minute scene of this doctor setting up the tape recorder or this orderly setting up the tape recorder is over, we do get a doctor that comes into the room. He loads the tape recorder, tells the orderly very aggressively to leave. And we find out this is Dr. Henry Bloom, who introduces himself to Ricky, who promptly tells him to fuck off. And the doctor makes a comment, Ricky, my time is valuable. I don't have time to waste. And Ricky's like, gets all pissed off. And he's like, my time is valuable too, doctor. And there's this line the doctor says where he's like, you don't have much time, Ricky. So it's like, is Ricky on death row? I'm assuming
I mean, I'm assuming based off of what transpires, it would make a lot of sense. But the doctor comes in, he's calling the shots, and he's really trying to intimidate Ricky, and Ricky is just extremely unimpressed with him. But he basically asks Ricky to recall who killed his parents. Where did this all begin? And when he asks, Ricky, promptly answers, Santa Claus. And this is what leads into the first of very, 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 very many flashbacks. This movie literally contains 40 minutes of flashbacks from the original film. 40 minutes of flashbacks in a movie that is under 85 minutes.
40 minutes. I counted. There is exactly 7 flashbacks.
And they're not just flashes.
No, they're not. They are whole entire scenes, whole entire segments of the film.
Most of the kill scenes that happened in this movie happened in the original film as well.
Yes. And I want to know, again, Roger, I just want to know why anybody would look at this and watch it and think this is a great idea. This is it.
This is what we're putting out.
Most people, let's be honest, most people that check out a sequel or go watch a sequel have already seen the first film. They don't need to rewatch it, in flashback scenes. A few tiny flashbacks would have been fine, but to have the 40 minutes of flashbacks, and let's just put this out here. What doesn't make sense is that most of these flashbacks that happen, that Ricky is narrating with every fucking detail right down to the T. A, he was a fucking baby. He was an infant. He would not know any of this. B, he wasn't even around.
Well, yeah.
When Billy went on his killing spree, this little fucker was in the nursery or in the orphanage, but he certainly knows every fucking detail, how everyone was killed, what they did, what they said to Ricky before he was killed.
Well, what they do in a few of these moments to try to make it feel more authentic that he was somehow involved is they add his presence into a few of these flashbacks. One time you see him cut in as a child, just added into the orphanage scene. And then in these first flashbacks, because it cuts back to the original kind of opening sequence with Billy and his family in the car, they add in the footage of Ricky as a baby, which I have not yet revisited the film, the original Silent Night, Deadly Night. But remind me, is there a baby in the car in the original film?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, okay. So at least there's that. But they make the presence, they really overemphasize the presence of the baby, making it seem as though he remembers what happened. And even the doctor says how did you remember? And his response is I was there. I'm you were there, but you're also maybe 8 months old, and you are the ugliest fucking baby I've ever seen in my life. Troy, let's take a second, if we may, to talk about how ugly this fucking baby is. I've never seen a baby uglier. And I've seen some ugly babies in my day.
Roger, I'm gonna have to go back and watch because I did not.
Oh,
Apparently this.
Google it. look up this baby. The baby looks like there's a stroke mentioned later in the film. This fucking baby looks like it had the stroke because it is just an ugly baby.
Well, we know now what image is going to be for our promotion for this particular episode is the baby, because I guess I didn't pay attention. A baby's crying, I tune it out. I'm like, whatever. So I'll have to look at this ugly baby that's hideous. I want to see this. But yeah, so we get our first flashback, which is, I mean, we're not, do we even waste our time talking about what the flashbacks are, Roger? I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to review, guys, we're going to review the first movie next week. We're not going to spend time on this particular episode rehashing the first film, and we're going to discuss it next week. I hope you're okay with that.
Well, if anything, it's going to lure them in listen to the next one.
Our focus is on part 2. So just know that for the first 40 minutes, there are several flashbacks to the first film, including Ricky and Billy's parents being killed, Ricky and Billy's time in the orphanage with Mother Superior being a total cunt and dishing out her punishment, and then to Ricky's time in the toy store, his killing spree, and him returning to the orphanage and trying to kill Mother Superior before he's dead. It's 40 minutes of that. Okay, in between there are some conversations with the doctor, right? So
for example,
we can focus on that and then get into the original stuff that was actually shot for this film, right?
One of my favorite cut-ins, because it'll cut back and forth between the excessive flashbacks and the dialogue between the doctor and Ricky. And at one point, the doctor asks Ricky, "Do you dream, Ricky?" To which Ricky says, "I don't sleep." Like, it's just like the overacting and the chewing of the scenery here is just grating. It's so hard to listen to. And I feel bad for the doctor because he's actually giving a pretty like restrained, natural performance. His performance isn't anything awful. But opposite him, you got Ricky, who's just like everything is like with a smirk or like a shrug or a cock of the eyebrow or just overemphasized dialogue. It's so uncomfortable. It's weird. It's weird. Like, it's the whole thing as a whole. It's not even like I could take one little bit of dialogue and break it down, because literally everything out of the guy's mouth is just over the top.
Yeah, I mean, some of the more other notable sort of dialogue between Ricky and the doctor during these flashbacks is that we do find out that this doctor is apparently the 13th psychiatrist that has come to visit Ricky. And the doctor is like, "Oh, that's fine. 13 is my lucky number." There's a few pieces of dialogue with Ricky trying to tell the doctor that really Billy's killing spree was not his fault at all, but in fact it was Mother Superior's fault because of the way she treated Billy and punished him, right? And that everyone that Billy killed, basically Ricky, in Ricky's words, deserved it. So there's a few moments where like the tape runs out on the tape recorder and they have to change it, which whatever. I'm trying to look here and see what other is there any other important stuff that happens?
Well, I mean, I think one thing to acknowledge with the way they play this out, using so much of the footage from the original film, is they do try to, I don't want to say they recut it. I mean, it's still the same fucking scenes, but they do trim it down. So that like even these moments that were very effective in their original presentation in the original film, even these moments are delivered in a way that feels completely void of suspense or terror.
One thing I did notice with the flashback sequences, and now that you're going to be watching the original film, I think to cover for our episode next week, if you haven't seen it for a while, one thing that I noticed right away is the gore is cut from these flashback sequences. Like, which I thought was an interesting choice. Why would you do that? They cut a lot of the gore. Like in the original film, you will see when the mother gets her throat slit on the street. You actually see the knife go across her throat, which in this flashback you don't see that. When he strangles the dude in the toy store with the Christmas lights, in this flashback, the girl that he's with, he actually stabs her in the stomach with a box cutter. And in the original film, you see it go into her stomach and he pulls it up. You don't see any of that. The deer antler death is cut severely. So I was just wondering, like, because this movie is not really necessarily gory, I mean, there's a few gore effects that are executed really bad. I would think they'd want to keep those in just to have the gore. But no, they cut the gore out of the flashback scenes.
Yeah, yeah. All of the flashbacks really do for me is remind me of how much sex and nudity is in the original film, first of all. Because, God, there's a lot of boobies. I mean, it's like boobies, boobies, boobies. But boobies, boobies, everywhere. Also, it reminds me of how well executed some of the sequences in the original film are. And it did make me, like, yearn to see them in their full format. For example, the store sequence, the chase sequence with Old Girl, where she goes running and then she actually thinks to grab the axe from him. And like, there's a lot of things they did right in the original film. And it really made me like yearn to be watching that instead of this.
The film and the original film, it just when you're having to watch both of these films kind of intersplice with each other, you realize just how great, and okay, maybe great's a little exaggerated, but how good like stuff like the cinematography in the original film was. The set design, the original film, very colorful, looks like Christmas. The performances in the original film are pretty good. I mean, you have I would say you have really good performances in the first film. I think like Billy, the guy that plays Billy is pretty good, pretty likable for the most part. And in fact, I think that, never mind. We'll save it for we'll save it.
I will say though, I feel a lot of the characters in this are like just retreads of characters that you had in the original film, but where it's like, for example, you have a Sister Mary who is clearly the Sister Margaret of this movie, but fuck Sister Mary. Give me Gilmer McCormick as Sister Margaret any day of the fucking week.
Fuck that. Give me Lillian Chauvin as Mother Superior. This second-rate old bitch that we get at the end of this film. Where the fuck did they find her at? We're gonna get there. Good grief, this woman. Okay, so basically what happens is after all of this retelling, we get to the final like flashback in the film where Billy's killed in the original, and it flashes back to Ricky in this room with the doctor, and he's talking, and the tape runs out again. Ricky is talking to the doctor, but he walks over, and what is revealed is the doctor is dead. He has been strangled, and this is not possible, but he has been strangled with the tape from the tape recorder. Roger, you grew up during the same time I did. You remember like cassette tapes and VHS tapes. This tape would not strangle somebody.
Oh my, it would break right through it.
Yeah.
You would break right through it.
Absolutely. We do have to remember, though, one thing that the doctor mentions to Billy or to Ricky before he's killed is that Ricky apparently had a girlfriend named Jennifer. So the doctor, Ricky's like, I don't want to talk about her. And the doctor does put her picture down on the table. And Ricky does say, well, that was the only person I ever cared about.
Well, it's clearly this actress's headshot that they like saved from the audition. I'm shocked to cut back on cost. I'm convinced they just saved this girl's headshot because it's like a glamour shot. But yeah.
So we are 40 minutes in to the movie, and we are finally getting some new story, because Ricky, after killing the doctor, he breaks out of this room.
Well, I mean, there's a big chunk of things that have happened with the doctor up at this point, like such as, yeah.
Oh yeah, wait, I'm
it's okay.
Way ahead in my okay.
It's
I got
okay.
ahead. Sorry, I'm in the wrong. No, you're right. Okay, so ultimately the doctor does get killed, but y'all, okay, we do get the story. Okay, yes, I'm sorry, guys.
Well, we literally get the full sled sequence from the original film, like the whole fucking thing, and it leads into this moment where Ricky leans in and says, maybe we're just jerking off here, huh? Which I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but if he and this doctor are jerking each other off, I would be far more exciting than what we're watching. But this does have a moment there that transitions to cutting in on the young Ricky. As the camera pans up the child's legs after Billy's dying, it cuts in on what is young Ricky, who basically makes a comment about naughty. You know that it's being passed on from brother to brother. And he starts to narrate about the next phase of his life. So this is where we're finally wrapped up on the flashbacks. 40 minutes in, flashbacks are finally done. At least flashbacks of the original film. They're not dropping the flashback format yet, which is really miserable to watch. But now at least it is new material.
Yes, and at this point, guys, the doctor is still alive. I got way ahead of myself. I guess I'm just trying to get to the end of this fucking movie. But I got way ahead of myself. The doctor's still alive because, yes, Ricky does begin to narrate his life growing up outside of the orphanage to the doctor. The doctor's still alive, and the doctor does ask him about his life outside the orphanage. And we do find out that he was adopted. Sister Mary found him a family called the Rosenbergs. So we do get flashback videos of little Ricky with his new family, just having fun, doing typical fun stuff. And then a scene with Ricky and his new mom while they're shopping, like what appears to be downtown. And she stops to talk to one of her friends, and little Ricky freaks out because he sees these two nuns who are walking on him. These bitches are on a mission.
Oh my God. These penguins are waddling in slow motion, and it is so intense. And at this point in the movie, it literally is the most suspenseful thing we've seen thus far, other than footage from the original film. And it's not even meant to be suspenseful. It's just the rest of the movie's so bad that I'm like, okay, I guess something's happening. And these two nuns are just plowing forward. And then he pulls on his mom. He's like, Mom, look. And she looks and they're gone. And then the mom turns away and they reemerge. The nuns come back. They come out of a shop and they just keep walking.
Yeah, these nuns, who knows what they were trying to find, but they were on a fucking mission. Then he sees some red fabric in a fabric store and totally freaks out. And he's like, Mommy, Mommy. And he points it and his mom sees what he's looking at. And it's just a thing of red fabric. And she's like, oh my God, Ricky, we gotta go.
It's like this moment of realization, as though it's this big thing. And it really literally is the rest of the movie. This carries through that simply the color of red causes him to go berserk.
Oh yeah, there's all kinds of red shit in this film. So we do then get a scene of Ricky sitting outside of Sister Mary's office. His new parents are talking to Sister Mary about Ricky and complaining about how he is, having these seizure-like things when he sees specific things. And the sister tells them he'll be fine. He just needs a stable family.
There's a moment with the doctor where Ricky says, I've never told anybody about this before. And the doctor says, what about? And Ricky says, here it comes. And it literally is like a segue into another flashback, yet another flashback. And it's like, my God, couldn't they have thought of it another way to communicate things that had happened previously? Couldn't they have just delivered it as one chunk of film instead of going back and forth over and over? It's like, my God, it gets so old.
It does get old. And what we find out, what happened was, first of all, Ricky's stepdad dies 5 years later, and they're at he's at a gravestone with his mother, and he is talking about how the funeral, the death of his stepdad really affected him, so he needed time to himself. So he used to go for walks, walks on back roads for hours. And I got to say, the kid, this actor that they got to play, in the credits, it says 15-year-old Billy or 15-year-old Ricky. I'm going to keep saying Billy, and I'm going to keep getting those interchanged. I know it. 15-year-old Ricky looks nothing like, absolutely nothing.
Well, not only that, he looks like exactly the same age. They look very close in age, these two. He does not look 15. All they did, they put some highlights in his bangs to try to maybe make him look a little lighter haired, but they do not look anything alike, and they look like they could be I don't know, in the same class in like a college together or something. Like they do not look at all like any different in age.
No, not at all. And they don't look similar. So how we're supposed to buy that this is young Ricky 3 years prior to what we're seeing now? People don't change that much in 3 years. Come on. So he's walking out one day on this back road in the middle of the woods, and he comes across a couple who has their Jeep parked, and it's Eddie is the guy. We don't get the girl's name, but Ricky proceeds to like watch them. And the Eddie guy is like insisting that he wants to have sex with this woman. And she's like, I don't want to right now, Eddie. You just have to give me time. I'm tired of you always forcing yourself on me. And she tells him to leave her alone. And he like begins to like rape this woman. He rips her top open, gets on top of her, slaps her. It's very similar to the scene in the original where his mother gets killed, right?
Oh, Troy, how many people in these movies are getting raped in general?
But what does it make sense? This doesn't make sense, Roger, because remember, he was an infant in the first film. He was literally probably a 4-month-old hideous infant, apparently.
And he was in the car.
That was in the back seat. So when he's watching this particular thing play out with Eddie and this homely woman, we're getting him having flashbacks to what happened to his mother. He would not know that. There is no way a 4-year-old or 4-month-old baby, it's impossible. So it makes zero sense because he's having these flashbacks and it's literally showing the scene of his mother's blouse being ripped open the same time Eddie's ripping this woman's blouse open, everything. And Ricky's like, naughty. And luckily Eddie decides he's not going to rape the woman right now. He wants, because she kicks him in the nuts and he wants to go get a beer. So he goes to his Jeep and gets a beer. And while he's getting his beer and drinking it and he's like walking in front of his Jeep, Ricky honks at him and is in the back, is in the driver's seat of his Jeep, starts it and fucking runs this guy over.
Eddie gets run over in a manner that is literally just the actor like turns and sees the vehicle and drops backwards. It is the least effective car-related death I've ever seen. It has the trope of the car going over something and like bump. Like you see the vehicle driving over the body, but you don't see the body, you know? You just see it from a distance. And meanwhile, the woman whom was on the verge of being raped, which apparently every rape starts with a man ripping a woman's blouse, violently ripping the blouse open so the tits are just pouring out. It's all the same. It's always the same. But she's just like watching on as this happens. And then like she gets up and like wanders over towards where it's happening, and Ricky gets out of the vehicle and they have like eye contact, and she simply like thanks him. She thanks him as though he didn't just massacre somebody. Like
she says, thank you.
Yeah, like he's a real hero.
and walks away. And we don't know what. Apparently she never told anybody, because Ricky's never told anybody this story. So back in the room, the doctor's writing notes and he looks up and Ricky's nowhere to be seen. And he kind of gets a worried look on his face for a second until Ricky then all of a sudden just appears next to his ear and says, am I going too fast for you, Doc? And then there's this conversation where he asks the doctor if he has any kids. The doctor says, no, we never had kids. And he's like, oh, so you're married? And he's like, yeah, but my wife has been dead for a few years. And Ricky's like, oh, well, my old lady couldn't afford to send me to college, so I had to get a job.
Oh my, he's so offended by the fact that he had to get a job. The rage. There's also one moment where it like shows the doctor taking notes, but literally like what he's written is red car with an exclamation mark next to it, and like in big letters. And so like Ricky like looks down and he's like, red car, good point. And it's such like simplistic writing that they're like, you know, that they're saying to the audience like, hey, make sure you pick up on the fact that it was a red car. Even the doctor knows that this is something you should pay attention to. It's so like forced down your throat, because the story is so simplistic, but they like do such a bad job explaining it that like they literally have to like have these moments where it's just like it's literally written out in front of you. Like it is written out in big letters in front of you to make sure you're following along.
So we now get another flashback of Ricky working at this restaurant as like a, I guess,
Like a busboy or something.
yeah, a busboy or something like that. And he takes the trash out one night and he sees this, like, I guess it's like a loan shark, right? Like beating the shit out of this poor guy for not paying him on
Oh my
time.
God. First of all, Eric Freeman cannot act, but he looks mighty fine in a white t-shirt. I'm going to give him credit where credit is due. Second of all, this fucking loan shark, he's like threatening this guy, and this guy's like, hey, I get paid on Monday. Please don't kill me. And the loan shark is like, I hope you don't get paid on Monday because I'm enjoying this too much. And he proceeds to like beat this guy's ass.
Can I say this loan shark is the least intimidating man I've ever seen in my life?
He looks like someone who'd be selling auto insurance. He's so like he looks like a chunky like substitute teacher. He is in no way intimidating, but he sure enjoys beating this poor man up. And then he takes out a very red handkerchief and blots his face with it. And so of course the color red, it's all it takes to set off Ricky, who has been watching from the distance. And this does lead into what I would say is like, if there was going to be a standout kill in this movie, it is what happens here.
It's so ridiculous. The loan shark dude is walking away and Ricky like purposely bumps him in the shoulder, and the loan shark dude is like, you don't know who you're messing with. And like Ricky pushes him again. He's like, you must want your ass kicked, and Ricky, like, all of a sudden you don't even see him do it, but you see the guy like fly through the air and land in a pile of trash. And Ricky comes over and like grabs him by the throat and lifts him off the ground, and the guy's like trying to punch him to get away, and it's not even phasing Ricky. And Ricky looks over and sees a discarded like piece of junk umbrella. So he pulls the umbrella, gets this big old shit grin on his face before he shoves the umbrella through this guy's stomach. It comes out his back, and then Ricky actually opens the umbrella.
It's so fucking exaggerated. I love it though. It is, I would say, the standout moment of the film that is from this actual film and not from a previous film. It's so over the top, but it is really funny. But then after he drops the body, it does like this slow push-in on the umbrella with like the gore running down it. And this push-in is literally like half of the film. Like, so much of this movie is just like long lingering shots that take too long. Again, they're trying to pad the time frame because there's actually so little original material. But like this push-in just takes forever.
I do like the little touch, though, that when the body's laying there and it is pushing in on it, that it starts to rain. You know, and you get to see the rain hit the umbrella and like all the blood starts like trickling down off the umbrella and stuff. So back to the doctor. The doctor now is sweating really profusely, hearing all
this
of these
dissolve.
Yes. It is a cool dissolve. It dissolves from seeing the blood and the water hit the umbrella, dissolves into all the sweat beads on the doctor's forehead as he takes his handkerchief that has a red letter. I think, what letter is it? It's either R or B, I think.
It's a B.
Yeah. And
Bloom. B for bloom.
Big old B on it. Look how smart you are, Roger. I didn't even I didn't connect
And of
that.
course it's red. Dun,
It's
dun,
red.
Dun.
And he's wiping his sweat, and the doctor is like freaked out now because he's like, I have not seen these incidents written in any of your file notes. And you can tell now the doctor's getting a little nervous because the doctor was at the start acting like a badass with Ricky, really trying to put him in his place. And it's like, I'm not afraid of you. Now you can tell he's getting a little nervous, right?
Yeah.
And this is when the doctor does ask Ricky to tell him about Jennifer. And Ricky's response is, eat shit. The doctor takes out this lovely headshot of the actress and puts it on the table. And it's like, Ricky, who's this? And Ricky he beams. He's like, oh, it's Jennifer. She's the only thing I ever cared about.
I mean, it is a great fucking headshot. I'm going to give her that credit. No wonder they cast her. She's definitely the most attractive person in the current movie cast.
Well, she was also in Friday the 13th Part 7. She was a Robin in Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood.
We got a real scream queen on our hands. But she's lovely. She's a lovely actress. It's unfortunate she only says about 7 lines. But we do get a flashback. Shocking fucking all. We get a flashback of of Ricky looking like a badass on a motorcycle in a leather jacket. He looks so good. And she like swoops by in her like Corvette and accidentally sideswipes him and knocks him over. And she gets out and runs over, and we get this like pan up her legs. Again, it takes way too long. But there's like the sax music.
Yeah, I was just going to say the sexy porn sax music starts up as we're scanning up this broad's legs.
Yeah, it's really sexy.
and she's laughing hysterically. She thinks knocking this dude off his motorcycle is the most hilarious thing.
Oh my God,
she's
she
ever
could
done,
have killed him. He could have been crushed under that motorcycle, but she likes it. She likes a little danger. And so it basically starts to like allude to the beginning of a very quick start to a relationship. And this does have some very lovely footage of them. I don't know where they filmed this, but it's very mountainous. And it's very lush and green. It's in no way Christmassy or wintry whatsoever. But it's just filled with mountains and trees. It looks lovely.
Well, there's a long shot of them riding a motorcycle. She's on the back of his motorcycle. It's literally like a 3-minute shot of them just riding through roads, the mountains, everything on the motorcycle, until it just kind of cuts abruptly to a sex scene between the two of them.
Oh my God. How many pans do we need during this sex scene?
Oh Lord. It's unusually unerotic for being such good looking actors doing it.
You get like some side boob, but that's about it. You get a little butt cheek, but it just keeps panning past the same shots of them just caressing each other and holding each other. They don't really fucking do anything. They're just touching.
No, yeah, but we do get, and we find out that it was actually Billy's first time having sex.
It wasn't hers though.
Well, no, he says, and I thought it was hers.
He takes a lot of things to heart. Ricky gets easily offended.
Yes. We cut to a movie theater scene now.
Oh, this fucker sure knows how to wear this yellow polo. I'll say that.
Oh, he has a yellow polo on. He's looking good. But they're at a movie theater, and he's all excited watching the previews, and they're real violent, apparently. And she's like, do you like this sort of stuff? He's like, huh? And there's some annoying fucker in the back of the theater who's like making noises, throwing popcorn.
I've never wanted someone to die so badly. Like, he is just grating. And then there's like a moment where like they almost kiss, but for whatever reason, like Ricky doesn't go in for the kiss. And the guy shouts at him and he says, I knew it, faggot.
Yeah. Well, as they're getting ready to kiss, the guy starts making like loud kissing noises. He's like real loud. So I think that's what stops him from kissing her. And then, the dude calls him a faggot. We've talked about using that word in films before. It doesn't bother me, but whatever.
But it does it bothers Ricky. He gets fucking pissed.
He gets pissed, but they are seeing, and Ricky's like, what's this film about again? And she's like, oh, it's about a guy that dresses up as Santa and kills people. And Ricky's like, what?
Out of all the fucking movies to go see, and let's be real, how would he not have any inkling of what the storyline of this movie is going into it? Like, did he really go in that blind? Like, come on. How would you not know that this is the basic premise of this film? It's all it's about.
I don't know, but we do see a clip of the film on the big screen, and it's surprise, it's the first film. It's a scene from the first film where the Santa Claus that ends up killing Ricky and Billy's parents goes into a gas station and kills the gas station attendant.
Like, these fuckers did not even try to create original content for the movie within a movie. Like, maybe if they would have tried a little harder elsewhere, this would have been a funny little, like, wink and nod to the audience. But it just seems plain fucking lazy to me.
It's super lazy. To rely so heavily on the first film to create this film was, I think, the biggest mistake that this film made.
Of many.
Of many. So the movie, like I said, shows the Santa scene from the first film, the gas station scene. The guy's still back there making noise. Ricky says, punish. And he gets up and just disappears. In the meantime, one of her ex-flings named Chip shows up.
Fuck Chip.
Chip, Roger. Chip.
Let's talk about this guy's hair.
What do you think about... Well, I was going to say, what do you think about Chip?
I think Chip is quite persistent. I mean, the raping in this movie is just so heavily handed. And then even when people aren't raping, they're still not accepting no for an answer. Like, the men in this movie very much deserve to die, but Chip is just like, oh my god, that hair. I can't stand that fucking hair.
It's like peroxide bleach blonde
it's
hair.
awful.
Right? Like he's trying to be like this valley boy. I
mean,
think
it's the time of Billy Idol. I get it.
Yeah, that's true. But he is no Billy.
And no, certainly is not.
Not the most attractive thing ever to
grace the screen.
No, him and that fucking baby. Those are going to be our promotional.
Just don't get me started on that goddamn fucking baby. I hate that baby so much.
Oh my god. Okay, so Chip is like very insistent that he wants to date her, and he's like telling her, "Oh, remember that time we had in the back of my convertible?" She's like, "Don't ever talk about that again." He's like, "Why don't you want to, why don't you give me another chance?" And she's like, "You cheated on me and you ruined my best sweater," which is just so...
which you know exactly how this fucker ruined that sweater.
He ripped it open to show her, make her boobs flop out.
Well, either that or he just shot his platinum bleach blonde load all over it. Let's hope that the rug matches the curtains. But yeah, he's really just so fucking persistent and he's so aggressive. And then after this whole sequence,
his girlfriend's watching.
His girlfriend just standing there like watching down, like looking down on Jennifer like with disdain. But then she like escorts him away as though it's no big fucking deal. This poor girlfriend.
Who looked like she was about 50. They just found this broad walking outside. It's like, "Hey, bitch, you want to come here and play a girlfriend real quick?"
She's like a hooker that they just threw a coat on, and then they let her keep the coat as payment. But then, meanwhile, as this is unfolding, the loud fucker who screams "faggot" in the background is sitting there, and he keeps like making banter to the guy sitting next to him, who I don't even think is supposed to be his friend or know him. That guy seems very uncomfortable, but he keeps leaning in and chatting with him, and then he leans back in again, and this time that guy is gone, probably murdered. We don't know. And in his place is Ricky, who just scowls and says "punish" as he does. And I'm assuming he kills this guy, but it's like, this moment really pissed me off, let me be honest. It's handled as like this hokey, funny, cheesy moment where like they look back for a moment and all they see are the guy's legs like kicking up in the air and popcorn's flying everywhere. You don't get any kind of body reveal. You don't get any kind of blood. You don't get any follow-up on it whatsoever. It's like treated as like a big like har kind of joke. What a letdown.
It's very cartoonish. Like you look back and you see his legs kicking up from behind the theater seats. And that's it. He goes back to Jennifer, and apparently nobody thinks twice about having a dead body in the back of the theater. So we cut to a scene of now, it's after the theater. Ricky and Jennifer are walking down the street and, just having their conversation about how he wants to take her for a nice motorcycle ride and like a weekend getaway. And she's like, "Oh, I really like you, Ricky. You're not like everybody else." And who do they fucking run into?
Fucking Chip.
Working on his red convertible.
Like you already fucking know. And not only that, he has to hit it home. He calls the convertible Old Red. Like that's the car's name, fittingly enough. But this launches into a sequence where basically he and Ricky kind of just get all up in each other's space and they're all kind of intimidating each other. He's really insulting Ricky and insulting Jennifer. And what's about to transpire, Troy, I will say, I think was one of the biggest mistakes of the movie. In a movie filled with mistakes.
Yes. Well, first of all, he pisses. What's the final straw is that Chip tells Ricky that he basically fucked the shit out of Jennifer in the backseat of his Corvette. So that puts Ricky right into a rage. And what does Ricky do? He takes a jumper cable that is attached to the car battery, shoves it in Chip's throat, and turns the battery thing up full blast until it's a pretty cool, I guess, little effect. You see like the Chip's head, and you see like the jumper cable and like his mouth being lit up and sparking and stuff until Ricky turns it up full blast and his eyeballs pop out.
Yeah, the eyeball part was pretty cool. I will say, like, the sparking of the eyes and everything was, it read very cartoony. Like, they obviously were, like, illustrated. The listeners know what we're talking about. Those, like, cartoonish, like, blue electric sparks. The dummy itself looks pretty good, though, and the eye explosion looks pretty cool.
I'll take it. I'll take it. From this film so far, I'll take it. I mean, I thought it was pretty fun. I mean, it's a cool little death. Again, we have to mention that nothing looks Christmassy at all at this point in the film. It's not even, I don't even think it's December. Nothing looks Christmassy. This is when Jennifer, who has just witnessed Chip being brutally murdered, gets upset with Ricky. Obvious. I mean,
reasonably so.
Rightfully so, yes. And she starts screaming at Ricky how much she hates him. I hate you, Ricky. And he looks at her and he says, punish. And her reaction, Roger, she gulps.
Yeah. And
then she goes, uh-oh.
Yeah. No, exactly. Like, it's played off again as, like, this kind of, like, hokey, funny, like, hardy har moment almost. And then he busts the antenna off the car and he, like, chokes her out with it. Man, like, here's the deal. We've got so little time with this character of Jennifer, but she's apparently had some kind of distinct effect over him. The only girl he ever loved. So you'd think that this would be something pivotal and important, but we only get about 10 minutes with her in the movie. And I think that this was such like I don't even know why I'm analyzing this. The whole movie is so horrible. But like, if they would have maybe given her, just give me another 20 minutes with this girl, so I care about this. This movie could have been so much stronger if they would have addressed it differently and delved into this material differently. And it's like, man, like, why?
You can't tell me they couldn't have reworked this script and cut out a majority of the flashbacks and added some more character development with her and Ricky so that we actually care. So when he does kill her, it's shocking. I think it's meant to be shocking, but it's not. Because we don't really care about her. She's only been in like 2 scenes so far, 2 small scenes. So, and I know the director did say it was budget, that they literally had no budget to do anything with this film. But again, man, you do what you can, right? And I feel like they could have done something that they didn't have to rely so heavily on the flashbacks,
Right. Well, because there's a story here. Like, there is a story there. Why not devote a little more time to that story and instead, like, just skim down? I mean, give us some flashbacks. That's fine. But why so many fucking flashbacks? It's just bad storytelling. It's bad filmmaking. Like, did they not know the basics of what makes like a good movie? I just don't understand.
I mean, I really feel like these filmmakers and the producers really thought that they were just going to make a shit ton of money off this film based on the first one. You know what I mean? Based how controversial the first one was in terms of it being pulled from theaters and just the reputation it got. So they're like, oh, well, we can just put some shit out there and call it Silent Night, Deadly Night 2. And people are going to go see it and spend a shit ton of money on it because they're going to want to see a sequel. So after Jennifer is dead, a cop shows up, tells Ricky to freeze. This is the most inept cop ever.
Not only inept, but the guy playing this cop, like, he was like, this is my fucking 15 seconds of fame, and I am running with it. And honestly, he deserves to die because he does not follow proper protocol whatsoever.
No. Not at all. He has his gun pointed at Ricky, walks up to Ricky, and he's like, I'm going to put these handcuffs on you, but no funny business. And what does Ricky do? He's able to get the gun and shoot the cop in the head with it.
But you don't even see him turn the gun around.
You don't see how he gets... No, yeah, you don't see how that happens.
There's like a cut of the gun facing him, and all of a sudden, boom, next cut, it's turned the other way. You do get a nice shot of like the bullet going through the head and the blood starts trickling from the hole, but it's just such a bad edit that like you look past the fact that it's a good effect because it just looks so clunky. But this does at least lead into like the one scene that the movie is notorious for. It's not a well acted scene. It's not necessarily a good scene, but God, is it fucking absurd and fun. And it is definitely like the one moment that this movie is notorious for that's, of its own telling.
Yeah, it's his rampage through this suburban neighborhood where he now has the cop's gun, and he's shooting pretty much everyone in sight that comes out. Like a random guy comes out outside and he's like, "Hey, what's all that noise?" Ricky shoots him.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, and then we get the very infamous. In fact, it's a meme. It was kind of a viral meme for a while. This poor bastard's just trying to take his trash out, and Ricky looks at the guy, points a gun on him. The guy's like, no, he's holding the garbage can. And Ricky says, "Garbage day."
With his classic eyebrow cock.
Yeah. I can't do it as well, quote unquote, as Eric Freeman can, but
garbage day. Like it's like the pronunciation is like all wrong. It doesn't sound like the way anybody would actually say this phrase.
He shoots this poor guy that's just trying to do a daily chore, and then shoots a car that's driving down the road to the point where it swerves and like flips over and blows up. So you try to tell me, Roger, they didn't have a fucking budget to give us some more backstory with him and Jennifer, but they had a budget to blow up a fucking car?
Oh my God, Troy. And then do you notice that like when this sequence happens, the guy that stands in as the
is not Ricky.
It's not only is it not Ricky, it's like
it's not even wearing the same clothes.
His hair, he's got like dark, like shaggy hair. It looks so fucking awkward.
Oh, it's not even. Did you notice? It's not even. He's not even wearing the same outfit.
All he has on is the blue sweater. He doesn't have on the same.
Yeah,
pants.
like the pants are a completely different color. Oh my guys, come on.
Are we that lazy?
I'm just saying, this is one thing. You can't tell me the director's bitching about a budget, but they had a budget to blow up a car, which, folks, is not cheap to do.
No.
They had that budget, but they didn't have a budget to do anything else that could have added to the story where they didn't have to rely on 40 fucking minutes of the original to tell it.
Lazy.
Anyway, so after this, several cop cars show up as they would, and they're pointing their guns at Ricky, telling him to drop his gun, and instead Ricky puts the gun up to his head. And these cops, you're trying to tell me you want to talk about the cop earlier getting his 15 seconds. These fucking cop actors that are playing these cops are really trying to take the limelight. They're like, "Don't do it. It's not.
Don't be a fool. Don't be a fool." Oh my God. We didn't acknowledge quickly the small cherub that rides up on the tricycle.
Oh, yes.
And like runs into his foot and she's like, "Excuse me, mister." And he's like, "That's fine." And like he like allows her to go on her merry way because she's so pure. But yeah, then he goes to shoot himself and then no bullets. No fucking bullets.
No bullets. He was going to kill himself. No bullets. And he basically says, "No more bullets." It flashes back to him in the interrogation room. He's like, "No more bullets. I was young and stupid." And this, folks, is where we see the doctor dead. I was so trying to get to the end of this film, I guess, when I said that a half hour ago when we were.
Can you imagine if you would have bypassed?
Bypassed everything. I think, you know what though? I think people would have appreciated it.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. This is when we find the doctor, Dr. Bloom, dead, strangled with tape from a cassette, which is, folks, that's never going to happen. I'm sorry.
No. How ironic, though.
Yeah.
What are the chances? The doctor killed with his own tape. But it apparently was that easy. And not only that, Billy then has a little moment of dialogue.
I know it's hard. It's
Ricky,
hard.
It's just because Billy's better. So we want it to be Billy. But he then like apparently busts out of the hospital. They don't show it because they couldn't afford an actual hospital. And you just hear the screams of the attendant that didn't get any dialogue.
I know. No, it's a whole bunch of attendants though. No, it's a whole bunch. So you're trying to tell me this dude with no weapon goes out of this room and like kills everybody to get out because you hear one attendant, but then you hear a bunch of them like, "Oh my God, God, he's out. He's escaped.
Oh
You
my
hear all
god,
these
it's so
screams.
like just awkward. And every chance they've had thus far to show like a really good kill, they kind of just like skate by it. I don't know, but I will say like, at least this is about to kind of launch into the moment of the film that like I would say I find the most enjoyable. The final 10-15 minutes at least start to feel somewhat connected to the original movie.
They do. It feels like a Silent Night, Deadly Night film, right?
Nothing else has felt that way up to this point.
No.
Well, aside from the original Silent Night, Deadly Night footage.
No. So we basically cut to the sister. Who is this sister? Is it Sister Mary? Right,
Mary.
Sister Mary's. Do you see how they just let her in this room with all these dead bodies still on the floor as they're putting bodies in body bags? She's just sitting there.
And she's
right.
So calm about it.
Yeah, they're loading all these dead people into body bags, and the sister's just sitting there, and the cop is like, "Oh, he escaped. Do you have any idea where he could be going?" And she's like, "Well, you know, the orphanage is closed. Mother Superior had a stroke, and she's retired now. She lives alone."
We're about to get this whole sequence where we follow now this new nun. And I mean, we saw Sister Mary in a few little flashes earlier, but she's basically becoming a character now, along with this cop whose name I don't know, or this detective. And the issue I have here is we are now in the last like 10 minutes of the movie. And now we are handed a whole new clan of characters whom we're supposed to like want to follow and I guess take on as like the heroes of the movie. This movie doesn't have a final girl. This movie doesn't have anyone who's a protagonist really. All it has is Ricky and a bunch of like minuscule characters that kind of orbit around him. So we're handed this brand new cast because everyone else just got killed. And it's like, you're telling me I'm supposed to care about these fuckers and anything that happens to them at all?
I don't. She does say, well, she lives alone, but I don't know how in the world he'd be able to find her. Well, apparently fucking pretty easily. In fact, Roger, he knows Mother Superior's phone number.
Oh, yes, because he calls her from a telephone booth.
He calls her from a payphone. And she answers. You hear her old woman voice.
Hello.
And he's like, "It's Santa. I'm coming for you." And in the meantime, he has killed this poor Salvation Army Santa who's just trying to collect money for starving children and to finance anti-gay organizations. And he kills the Santa and puts the Santa suit on. Finally, it's starting to look like a Silent Night, Deadly Night movie.
Yeah, like this is what we've been needing this whole fucking time. Come on.
And we get a shot of Mother Superior at her new house in her wheelchair. It is not, unfortunately, it is not the same actress that played Mother Superior in the original. In fact, it bears no resemblance to the actress that plays the original Mother Superior in looks, in voice, in anything.
Well, and you know they knew that because despite the fact that they stated that apparently this old crow had a stroke, for some reason that is not explained, this woman's face is grotesquely deformed and looks as though somebody threw a cup of acid in her face. You know how they do that in some countries? That's what it looks like. This woman has like growths and warts and pustules all over the side of her face. And I think that they did that because they're like, well, we can't get the original actress. So we're going to have to come up with something.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest what the fuck moments of this movie is when you see Mother Superior and she is now deformed. I'm going to go with your explanation because nothing makes sense. I really wish they would have got the original actress back because good God help me, this bitch can't act. I'm sorry. She's horrible. I could see why, Lillian Chavon probably read the script and was like, fuck no. But good grief. Okay, so she's wheeling around her house. He actually shows up right away. Like there's no suspense in him trying to locate where she lives. He goes right to her house. And in fact, starts chopping the door down right away. And you notice the address she lives at, her house number is 666.
Oh, how very discreet and subtle of them. Yeah, I mean, for a nun to be living at that address, like, don't
They
you
would have
think
been.
that,
I'm sure she would have. As fucking high strung as Mother Superior, she would have been like, I am not living here. But I just don't like this. I know you said it's exciting. I get a little bit of excitement, but it's just so rushed.
Yes, it is absolutely rushed.
There is nothing. There's no suspense. Like I said, it would have been cool to have a few shots, like a few scenes of him trying to actually find out where Mother Superior lives.
Oh, yes.
Like a stalk scene of him like outside the house, like looking in the windows, like like scaring her and stuff. No, he walks right up to the door, axes it down, gets in. She's up in her room. And right away he's like, Mother Superior, Santa's here. He's not being subtle at all. She shuts herself in her bedroom, and he comes up right away, starts chopping the door down. I gotta say though, she does give up a little bit. She's trying to fight. She wheels a dresser in front of the door and keeps ramming her wheelchair into the door so he can't get in. But he does he finally gets in, and she has to wheel herself down the hallway.
Oh my God. Well, really quick, because we're about to get to the meat of this fucking sequence. And by the meat of it, I mean some really absurd fucking shit happens here. But what you just said, Troy, about, I don't think this is a good scene. Let me be clear. I don't think this is a good sequence. I think what they really did is they tried to cram what could have been a good sequence into about 5 minutes of film. If this would have been the vibe of the whole movie, sign me the fuck up. That's what I'm saying is.
Yeah, no. I get it. No, I totally get it. It's one. Okay, I will give you this. I get what you're saying. It's the best executed scene in the film.
Yeah, the whole thing of her like with her wheelchair against the chair and everything, or against the door. Yeah.
It is the best executed film. It is the one hint of suspense, tension that we get in the film, excitement where we're a little bit squirming towards the edge of our seats. But that's not saying much because look at the film we're talking about, right?
Exactly.
But
exactly.
I do like the fact that she gets to the edge of the stairs and he literally goes to swing the axe and this bitch jumps out of the chair and
oh my God,
rolls down. This poor old woman. It's a 90-year-old woman rolls down the stairs.
Well, this old woman also recently had a stroke, and she goes down a full flight of steps, and then she manages to dust it off, grab her wheelchair, and keep on fucking going. Like, that would have killed that woman. That woman has no business being alive after falling down that fucking flight of steps. I'm sorry. But then she's still trucking.
Oh, she gets in her wheelchair. She wheels herself into her. She does go to the kitchen. She gets a knife. Very smart of her. She goes into the dining room, and now she does. I do like this little element where she is like not gonna like hide anymore or run. She calls him. She's like, Billy, come and confront me. However, it's so cringy because this woman. I don't know if it's just me. Maybe I'm. But this woman is terrible.
Well, I think it's also the dialogue they gave this woman, because she literally says to him, you've been very, very naughty. Like, listen, if I was this person, I wouldn't just be sitting there scolding them. I'd be fucking hunting for a phone. I'd be screaming out a window. I wouldn't be antagonizing them if I was a brittle 90-year-old woman who just fell down a flight of steps, was attempting to defend myself while I had a facial growth. And I mean, and if I was him, if I saw her, I'd be like, fuck, this broad's about to die anyways. Let her die of these natural causes, because it'll be miserable. Nothing could be worse than that.
Oh, but I just find her acting like really bad. Because I'm comparing her to the original Mother Superior, and that performance actually was really good.
Oh yeah.
And it's not even in the same realm of being like the same character, right? This woman doesn't look the same, doesn't sound the same, is not an actress. I don't know where they found her. I think she might be like the editor's mother or something. They're like, hey, come in, we'll put some makeup on you and you can be in a movie. Because she has this, I am your Mother Superior. I raised you as a child. Now put down that axe and take your punishment.
Oh my God.
You are being very naughty.
Yeah, it is an all-star bad performance, though. Like, she is just giving it her all, though she's not capable of giving it. Like, this woman thought this was going to be her big break.
Oh yeah, she probably thought, oh, I'm gonna hit it big in my 80s. I'm gonna be nominated for an Oscar in my 80s.
I'm a real star now.
Yeah, and after she says, "You are being very naughty," he's like, "Naughty this," and he raises the axe.
Good.
And then it cuts to the police showing up with
Sister Mary.
Sister
Mary.
What?
Yeah.
Sister Mary? Yeah, the police show up. They get into the house and they go in and they see a Mother Superior sitting at the dining room table in her wheelchair.
Fine.
Right? She looks fine. Looks perfectly fine. Looks absolutely fine. There's not a drop of blood, not anything around. But as they approach, her head falls off.
Oh my God. Her head falls off and Sister Mary just goes into a tizzy. And she falls backwards to reveal, dun dun dun, Ricky dressed as Santa, wielding his axe. And he's shot by the mysterious detective whom we don't even know his name.
Multiple times.
Yeah.
My issue with this, Roger, is no blood. He just hacked this woman's head off with an axe. There's not a drop of blood on her habit, her white habit that she's wearing. Not a drop of blood on that. Not a drop of blood anywhere. That's a very bloody thing. If you're going to chop someone's head off, there's going to be blood. Like no blood around the neck, nothing. And then you don't just set a head back on a neck and it's going to stay there.
Right. Like it's like such a clean sever that it just manages to prop there as though nothing happened.
I mean, did he stick toothpicks in it to make sure it stayed? I don't know. It's ridiculous. But yeah, Ricky is shot. He falls through the patio glass. He's dead. There's that dramatic piano music. Sister Mary kind of gets up from her fainting and she turns and Mother Superior's head is right next to her and she lets out this scream. And the film ends with a shot of Ricky smiling when Sister Mary screaming about Mother Superior's head.
Yeah. And it's hinting that he is
still alive.
Of course, still alive.
Which he is because there is a part 3 that he's in, although it's a different actor. And then the film ends. Yay!
Troy, this is to have been one of our sloppiest reviews yet, but like, how could it have been anything other?
Oh my God, but guys, it's on Patreon, so it's only a handful of people that really love us, so they'll forgive, especially my sloppiness. Guys, you've listened, and I'm not, but you guys, you've listened to enough of our episodes to know that we generally are very thorough and don't really make mistakes with our reviews, but I apologize for jumping ahead so fucking far in the movie.
I think with any other movie, there would be reason to scold. But with this fucking film, like, I'm sorry. I don't think there's really an easy way to review this movie. Because it's mostly just another movie. And you're just trying to, like, follow along with what is, like, there is a storyline in there, but they're only giving you about 30 minutes worth of it. So it's really paper thin, and you don't know most of the characters' names, and nobody has any real meaning, and yeah, it's not your fault.
But you know me, Roger. I love to strive for perfection.
Oh, Troy, I know. And you are perfection. A vision of perfection. You know what is not a vision of perfection? Silent Night, Deadly Night 2.
Guys, I'm just going to leave. Yeah, I mean, this is... Oh, God, Roger, look at our time. This is one of our shortest reviews we've done in months.
Of course it is.
I knew it. Well, I told you. That's why, honestly, guys, that's why I picked it, because I knew it was going to be short, and I knew that holiday season, we weren't going to have a lot of time, and I'm like, Roger, let's just do Silent Night, Deadly Night 2. It'll be quick, because half the fucking movie is the original film. But we still, hopefully, it was entertaining. I would say about this film is... I mean, there's nothing to say. I think this film is a giant piece of shit. I mean, I know there's people that like the film and like the stuff outside of the flashbacks. I think it's sloppy. I think it's, for the most part, terribly acted. It's hokey. Even the ending with the Mother Superior falls flat for me because it's so rushed. I honestly find no reason to ever watch this film again unless you're having like a drunk night with friends or you want to get high with a bunch of friends and sit around and watch something bad that you can laugh at. To me, I hold the original, Roger, in very high regard. I would say the original Silent Night, Deadly Night is my second favorite Christmas themed horror film. I still find the original Silent Night Deadly Night highly effective. And we'll get to that next week. I find that this film is a slap in the face to the first one.
Oh, absolutely. And honestly, all I really think this review should do for our listeners is titillate and tantalize the idea of us reviewing the sacred material that is the first film, because we avoided really delving into it on purpose. But let me tell you, we got thoughts and opinions out the wazoo on that one. This movie is just, and it's fucking garbage day. It's throwaway.
It's garbage.
It is, and there's so little to the movie that is not rehashed material that it just, maybe if they would have taken the time and the care to try to flesh out this character's story, there could have been something there, because it has interesting tie-ins to the first movie. The baby, the overall effect that everything that transpired would have had on that child. If you would have taken the storyline that is so paper thin in this film and given it actual time to develop and maybe some suspense, maybe some intensity, I'd love to see someone take that script, cut out all of the flashbacks, and give it a second shot, because I bet you anything there's a pretty stellar concept in there. It's just so horribly fucking executed.
It is. It's bad, but I can understand even though I hate this film. I don't like this film at all. I wanted to do it. I wanted to cover it, not only because it was short, but also because I thought that it would be an entertaining episode. And I wanted to revisit it. Honestly, I haven't seen this film for probably 15 years, if not longer. So I was like, oh, is it as bad as I remember it being? Yes, it is. All I can say is I know it has a cult following, and I know there are people that are fans. I know that, the Eric Freeman does go to conventions along with, what's the guy that played Billy in the first one, and they were at Texas Frightmare Weekend a couple years ago, and they were doing photo ops together, dressed in their Santa suits. Whatever. Okay, great. It's just not a good film. Just not a good film. That's all I can say. It's probably I'm trying to think of all the films that we've covered on the podcast, not just Patreon. Of all the films, this is probably the worst.
Oh yeah, I'd agree. I mean, we've watched a few that were kind of like stinkers, but this one is just,
it's just sad because the original was such a great film, and in many ways sort of groundbreaking for what it was doing in 1984,
because they have the balls to do it.
And then this one comes along, and it's just there's nothing Christmassy about it at all. But I guess, guys, that's our thoughts on Silent Night Deadly Night 2. Is there anything else you want to say about it?
No, not really. I mean, I think it's one of those things that it's got a bad reputation for a reason.
Guys, and if you enjoy the film, more power to you. Just not my cup of tea. I felt like there were so many different directions they could have done for a sequel, and if you didn't have the money for a proper sequel to Silent Night Deadly Night, then don't make a fucking sequel.
Don't fucking make it
until you raise enough money to do a proper sequel and not a slap in the face to the original. That's all I'm going to say. So that's Silent Night Deadly Night 2. Woohoo! So you're going to join us next Friday when we drop the Silent Night Deadly Night episode on our regular feed. And Roger, real quick, why don't you tell them what our second December Patreon episode will be, that will be coming out closer to the end of December, probably really close to New Year's Eve, if we can get it done, because would be very fitting for this title. What is it, real quick?
Oh yeah, I mean, I honestly am actually really excited for this upcoming one, because I like it more than I like this one. Not a lot of people love this movie, which I think is going to make for a really good discussion on our behalf, Troy. That people have lots of opinions on it, but I'll tell you that there's a lot of things that got wrong, but a lot of things I think got right, and I'm excited to discuss the 2019 Into the Dark entry for Hulu, Midnight Kiss. Not only a New Year's Eve feature, but a very gay one at that.
It is a gay themed slasher, which are very rare. It's a good pairing with Hellbent, Death Drop Gorgeous, Teacher Shortage. No, just throwing out all the gates. But it's very gay. I'm probably not as enthusiastic about this film as you are. I think it's fine. It'll make for a really good conversation, though, because I know you like this film a lot more than I do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's perfect by any means, but I think I think that queer horror and especially queer slashers are just really starting to touch the tip of the iceberg of what we can potentially do, and I think that this film made a few ballsy choices.
It did.
Yeah.
It took a few choices that I wish it would.
I agree. I do agree on that.
But
it's going to be a fun combo. It's going to be a good combo.
It'll be a fun conversation. Yeah. So, guys, that'll be and we will have it. It'll be out in December. Okay. We know this one is, it's December. We're recording this on December 17th. So it's probably going to be out tomorrow, which is Saturday. We apologize for getting it out so late into the month, but I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you've gotten to listen to our top 3 underrated holiday themed slashers that we posted on Patreon a couple weeks ago. And look forward to our review of A Midnight Kiss and Silent Night, Deadly Night. Be sure to tune into that because you will hear what our first pick for 2022 will be.
Oh, it's going to be a real fucking
exciting.
A real treat. But until then, guys, I mean, we want you to have a merry fucking Christmas.
Have a Merry Christmas. Happy holidays, folks. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts for your support, for even joining our Patreon. We hope you'll support us. We love you. We will continue to give you content and shout you out. So just spread the word, and help us, expand and get a new fan base and some new listeners. And we will keep doing what we're doing. So guys, patrons, again, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and we will see you soon with Silent Night, Deadly Night, and Midnight Kiss.
Yeah, pucker up, because that New Year's is about to ring in.
It is. All right, guys. Good night.
Good night.